There is more power in unity than division. And with the exception of a stumble or two, the party seems to have come together in the upper tiers of this temple. But these fucks had better gird their loins, because they've reached rock bottom. Ront the Gecko might be a polymorphed evil deity, or even Seth the Sloth. They don't know, and the hieroglyphics are just making things more complicated. Where is this god of the temple? Is this just how the lizard folk get rid of annoying tourists? Colored, glowing rocks. What's up with those things? Don't worry, we have answers. Welcome to the SpellCast.
Wander back out into 46, which
the divination room.
Yeah, and then keep going to 47.
Yeah, there are doors here, so you do have to open things. Oddly enough, to get into 47, you could physically unbar and unlock the door from your side. So it appears that 46, from the door that you're trying to go through to go south, it looks like this area was attempted to be blocked off. Like no one could get into the tomb area unless they were, or the vault area unless they were, you had a key or something.
Okay.
So we unbarred it and we pulled in?
Yeah, you unbarred it and
it
pulled
wasn't
it.
like...
No, you unbarred it and were able to pull in and everything.
Okay.
Yes. It seems like you are walking into a kennel. There are a bunch of cages around.
Oh.
You can see a lot of old rotten wooden cages, ropes, a couple of animal skeletons, beast skeletons.
Can you zoom out just a little bit?
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what it is.
Yep. Poor babies.
Yeah, it looks like they were just here. There doesn't seem to be any evidence of, like, they were killed or anything purposefully. Just old.
Okay. So sad.
Mm-hmm.
Hey. It's all woods.
Yeah.
Just get out of here. Yeah.
So you walk yourselves into the next room. It's not a door anymore. You can just walk down the hallway. And in this dorm, as you enter, at first it's kind of dark, but those of you with dark vision can notice that there are two fierce stone statues in the shape of one of the dinosaurs that you've seen on the tour. Now, Sav'ah Rah, you might not have any idea because you weren't in the northern part of the island at all.
Right.
But the rest of you guys can see these.
Really? Can I?
Yes, you can. If they have torches or things, or if you want to use your gem of brightness now.
Oh, I have a flashlight.
Yeah.
So again, using it as a flashlight for 30 feet of bright light, another 30 feet of dim light, doesn't use any charges. But using it to blind a dude or using it to blind a bunch of dudes does, and it never regains those charges.
Yeah. So be careful how you use it, because it is you spend it, it's gone. Also, what's your command word for the flashlight?
To do what?
To turn into a flashlight. What's your command word? On? Just on?
On.
Every time you're holding it and you say the word on, it will happen.
I'll just say the word flashlight.
Perfect. So
we'll just be like, what?
Well, no, because she'll say like flash light. So there won't be any anachronistic problem. But you say flashlight, and there is a flash of light in the room as your gem turns on, and you can see that these are two stone statues of Deinonychus, the thing that was the thing that they called a velociraptor in Jurassic Park. It's two stones, and they seem to be staring at each other.
Yo, what are those things?
When we saw them, in what context did we see them?
You saw them in the park.
Just like chilling out,
Just
never
running.
like eating anyone?
No. Well, actually, yeah, you would have when you were running away, chasing down people. Yep. And they seem to be placed on both sides of a small crack in them. And from this crack, you can see a gas that seems to be multicolored rising out.
Is it possible to identify a gas?
Do you want to go over and rub up on the gas?
Up on the gas. Won't it hurt him if he touches it?
Where are we and where's the crack?
Where it's crack? You guys are here in the doorway. The crack is here. Or actually, it would be here.
Okay.
With the statues.
I
Against the
can't...
wall.
Conall, can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Can you pull out your bow? Sav'ah, can you do me a favor?
So,
Can you light his arrow on fire?
Oh, we
with
still have.
pleasure.
I still have nice.
Can you...
I let go of that as soon as it gets on fire. I'm hanging on to this.
So your arrow flies through the gas. The gas does not explode in a conflagration, therefore setting on fire any sort of huge container underneath the pyramid of gas that could explode the whole valley and cause a destructive, catastrophic thing to end the campaign and kill your lives. No, that doesn't happen. Just nothing happens. It just plinks against the wall and the arrow burns away. Are you wanting that to happen? Why are you winking at me?
Maybe.
God damn it.
I'm winking at you because I love you. I'm vying for your affections. Fine, I will go over and probably die by inhaling this gas, by trying to rub up on it, and I can cast Identify on it.
Okay, as you're casting Identify, make a con save.
Shit!
Yeah. You get a crippling disease.
Dysentery.
Oh my god. Instant Terry. 15.
As you're casting Identify, you feel your head's getting a little light, and then it sort of goes away, and out of the corner of your eye, you think you see the statues move. What do you do?
Did anybody see that?
What are they? They're
I
dinosaurs.
don't think anyone's actually seen
Dinosaurs are
anything.
real?
No one's seen
I don't
anything
think so.
else.
We're
Yeah.
saying-
What do you do?
See what?
They're all on this island somewhere. If you went outside and explored, you'd find some.
I didn't see
Okay, here's what happens. You said the crack was over here?
Crack was over here.
And I'm identifying?
Mm-hmm.
I start screaming. And I run back to the other floor.
You guys have no idea why he's screaming and running. Nothing happened at the statues. Nothing happened with the statues. When you reach, as you're running towards the floor, and you reach the divination room, your head clears, and and you figure out that your body was able to fight it off, but only just that much. You can assume it's now some sort of hallucinogenic gas.
Yep.
I assume that he's like gone, so I just start continuing down
I
the
rolled a will
corridor.
And it was 1.
It was a 1.
I know, I saw.
And then it shook over to a 19, but, it was a 1.
Yes.
So I come back. Don't breathe that. Don't breathe that.
Okay.
Don't. Well, if you like to having a good time, and you don't scare easy, breathe that. But otherwise, don't breathe that.
I have brave, but I'm
Was
not
there?
gonna do that.
Was that like an open door or?
Oh, up here is an open door and things, and just ignore this. Just ignore
But
that.
so, just standing not where I can actually breathe the stuff in, is it possible to peer down into the crack and see, where it's coming
The
from?
way the crack is made, it's jagged. It's like a jagged rift, but you can't. It's like the stones as you look down are blocking the view down the path. So think of the rift as like a lightning bolt, but vertically. So you can't really see through the jagged rocks.
So we can't determine if this is like a natural formation and this magic happy gas is just issuing from the earth.
Yeah.
Or earth. Or if they literally had a piping system for happy gas, and I'm not going to throw a thunderstone at the crack, thank you. But so two big whatever the things that aren't velociraptors actually are. Just rub up on them. Anything weird?
Nothing. They're just stone statues.
Okay.
They're not dino gargosaurs reals.
Just don't.
Sorry, I tried.
It's just a weird room.
It's just
You can make a religion check on it if you want to.
I don't have that.
Someone.
So
me
it
or
would be...
I mean,
Did we all go or?
I'm
I think it's-
knowledgeable in dinosaurs.
I mean, you're in the room. You can make a religion check.
Alright, chill.
Religion would be int, wisdom.
Not
Which
for
one?
me.
Int.
Tongue intelligence.
Can I do it untrained?
Yeah.
11.
That's a 3. Okay.
21.
Okay, Mr. Inhale the happy gas.
Well, so it led me to religious awakening. Okay?
Yes, a religious awakening that told you that. Holy shit, they just stand someone on top of this gas, they inhale it, they hallucinate, and then they just spout out whatever religious thing they want to do. Sort of like the Oracle of Delphi. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
I just want to know why the dinosaurs.
Because they like
Specifically out of all dinosaurs, why did they pick the Deinonychus?
Well, with your religion check...
Can I make a history check? We're only gonna make a history.
I'm gonna...
To like far beyond recording.
How do you know this?
Alright.
You know, like the biological stuff about dinosaurs, but this is cultural stuff.
This is
right?
cultural stuff.
Well, I mean...
Bartholomew will tell you when you ask that question. Well, this whole temple, why the koalas here, I don't know. I do know that this dinosaur aspect of the temple points a lot to Ubtao. Ubtao traditionally is a deity of dinosaurs. What Ubtao has to do with the koala, why this is all in the temple, this is the only religious association I could make here, and I could be 100% wrong. Quite frankly, I have many questions.
Can I roll insight on that, or am I just like forever 3?
No. It's been long enough.
Okay.
Okay. You feel like he has many questions.
No.
When he said that was not pointed towards Ubtao. Only somewhat. It was more like when he said, "I have many questions," his eyes were darting to all 5 of you.
Of course. Yeah. Okay. That's totally like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's in line with stuff we've observed before. Stuff he said out loud before.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I have many questions.
I'm going to stare at him and establish dominance.
He has. You recognize he has at least 5 questions.
Who the fuck are these?
I'm sorry, I rolled a 1 on
It's okay.
This is funny.
It's okay.
You rolled a 20,
I trust
rolled a
everything
1.
that this man says. In fact, I may love him. No.
So where do you guys go from here? There is a crossroads. You go into big chamber. You can go into a hallway that takes you somewhere. Or you can go into another hallway on your right that takes you
to some
somewhere.
tea somewhere.
Some.
Can we see anything of 51 from where we're standing?
Yes, you can.
What can we see?
You can see a whole hell of a lot. You can see this room is huge.
Oh, really?
Absolutely goddamn ginormous.
Thank you. Okay.
It's...
Well, we're still standing.
You can't see the middle. Yeah, you're still standing at 49. You can't see the middle of the room, but you can see, from what you can see, there on each side on the walls of this are these broad rows of 5-foot thick pillars that, because of the height of the doorway, you can't see how tall they are, how far they go.
Oh, how far did we descend when we went down the stairs?
Quite a few feet. For this to exist, quite many few feet. The tiers, the tiers of the pyramid not only get wider, they get thicker.
Okay.
And this is the thickest of them.
Okay.
Or taller, I should say.
Thick works.
Yeah. You can see that there are ornate, not just chiselings or paintings, but ornate mosaics all along the rooms. And you can see, which you can walk behind the pillars along the wall. You can see a small fountain set into the wall on this side, at least.
Interesting.
That's all you can kind of see of the wall.
So there's that huge place over there.
Yeah.
And there's these things that go off.
It
Who wants to do what?
Let's go to the big room.
Yeah, that's what I'm leaning towards.
You guys go to the big room?
Yes.
Yeah.
So as you enter this room, you can see a hell of a lot more. Picture an enormous Roman...
Hercules?
Herculean, like the temple, like the Corinthian temple of Zeus, or temple of Zeus at Corinth, I think. It's a huge room. And as you walk in, if you look to the right of you, you can see a huge stone statue going all the way up to the ceiling. And this ceiling is probably a good 20, 30 feet high. Naga.
Is there anything at the top of it?
You can see red ruby eyes set in it.
Oh.
And it seems to be made of obsidian. In the center of the room, you can see the other fountain, by the way. There's a center aisle that the pillars are divided, that is set in between the pillars. In the middle of this aisle, in the center of the room, there is a large dais tiered dais, like almost a pyramid in of itself. And on top of it sits a stone sarcophagus. Just so you know, the dais is about 10 feet tall and steps on the way on every side.
So how big is this sarcophagus about?
Sarcophagus is, it's not a square sarcophagus, it's just as big as the other ones.
Okay.
But tall, it's 5 feet tall. It's just large. So there may be a sarcophagus in that sarcophagus and a coffin in that, you know.
So huge Naga, dais pyramid.
On the opposite side, you can see hallways leading to the left, or to the right at least, and down, if you look past the pillars, to the left also. But in the center of the wall, in the very opposite end of the room, you can see a large double doorways, 2 stone doors, about 20 feet tall. On them, there is a giant wheel mosaic. Mosaic. Giant wheel mosaic. Depicting and nearly mirroring. Remember at the very top of the pyramid, the circle that opened up that had all of the depictions of the inner planes and also somewhat the Feywild and also somewhat everything else. All of those elemental, torrential, chaos thingies, that's what's on this door.
So there's a weird snake church, I think.
Snake church, what do we think's in the sarcophagus? Do they move the vizier's body in there?
Do we want to find out is a better question.
What does Gerald think about this place?
I want to, explore a little more and then open the sarcophagus.
What does Gerald think about this place?
Geralt can't answer you because he's already crawled down Halexan from Halexan's shoulder plate and has started skittering across the very long floor towards the big super door.
Hal, what's he doing?
Geralt!
Let's go after him.
He doesn't reply, he doesn't answer you, Geralt doesn't. He's just skittering across.
Running.
Towards,
So you follow him, yeah, you just keep going. You have to, do you walk over the dais? Because he skitters over the dais as if it were nothing, or around it.
I go around it.
Around it? I don't know if I can reach it.
And as you turn, if you were to turn around, you can see next to the Naga statue, there are 2 other large statues. So you only saw the leftmost statue. When you face the room is now the rightmost statue. That was a Naga. It was black obsidian, red set eyes. On the opposite end of it, there is a giant, huge statue of similar size and proportions of marble, pure white marble, with green inset eyes of another Naga. The other Naga doesn't. This Naga looks more smooth, less jagged, less sharp.
Sure.
Soft features. And in the center, between them, there's the koala. The koala statue, wings outstretched, sort of wrapping around the other 2 serpentine figures. A little bit.
What's it made out of?
Various metals, metals and gemstones to depict the different colored aspects.
Oh, okay.
It's a huge thing. Yeah. Like, you could pick it apart with a mining pick and get the gemstones out of it, for example, but if you want the whole thing, that'd take months, maybe even a year, depending on how many people you hire to help get it.
Okay.
But you run up to the door, Ront. So he's sort of at the door, his gecko paws on the door, his snout constantly poking the seam where the doors meet. You can't see through the seam, he can't see through the seam, but he's poking it.
Gerald, buddy?
He doesn't answer you. He doesn't reply.
Yeah, it's cool. We'll find a way to get in there. Just chill out.
I'm gonna push open the door.
If we just try to pap shoosh him and can chill him out. And,
he
pick him up.
If you pick him up, he squirms out of your hands and runs back to the door. And pat.
Who broke him?
And his eyes are like Kaz in Jungle Book, the multicolored circuit. Ooh, yes, that. And Ront, as you run over to him, you notice in the floor that there are 5 indentations.
Oh, here we go.
Oh.
Each with a line drawing to a larger triangle, or a larger pentagonal shaped indentation in the floor. And each of these triangular shapes have a smaller triangular shape and a smaller triangular shape, to the point where they look to be about the size of your little prisms.
Okay, go on. Are there little spokes in these holes? Are there little spokes in the holes?
There are little spokes in the holes.
Are they color schemed?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
wonder.
I wonder.
It was actually, as like for a very brief moment, I thought you were gonna say that like these lions go into other lines and go like the lions go down all the hallways and like you're gonna have one of those things. But no, we just have holes.
There is
exposed.
also a line going all the way from that to the sarcophagus.
Nope. Let's leave this locked forever.
Okay.
No.
Shall we go explore the rest of the dungeon?
I don't know if we should leave Geralt like this. It looks important.
He's not going anywhere.
I mean, so there's no guarantee that whatever this does will have anything to do with the door.
Bartholomew, what are your theories on what else could be on this floor in the rooms?
Well, I know this goes against my archaeological training because I too, as and you see he's kind of fidgeting. As curious as I am about all these other hallways and what they may contain and what cultural discoveries we can make, these doors, I think, we need to figure this out. We need to solve this puzzle.
You think this is more immediate?
I think this is extremely immediate. Yes.
All right.
Judging from the door mosaic thing and the wall mosaic thing.
Just gonna roll insight.
Yeah,
one more time.
sure.
That's a nat point.
He seems so nervous to the point where he starts to mix up these very archaeological terms that he's used before, to the point where you get the feeling that he might not really know as much about archaeology as he's been saying he does.
Guys.
What?
It's really bad juju.
Who are you?
Do you say that?
I don't know if I want to.
Go for it.
Yeah, sure.
I'm Bartholomew Blackstone, the famous archaeologist.
Are you sure? You seem to not know what you're talking about.
He looks over all of you.
Come on.
He looks over all of you very carefully.
I'm very mad right now.
He says, "Well, shit. If I have to tell you now, I guess I have to tell you now. If I have to tell you now, I guess I better tell you now while no one is around to hear this." So he takes off his pith helmet, and this dark hair sort of falls, and he reaches up to his mustache, and he sort of pulls off.
Oh no, is he hot?
Well, he has a very young face and dark hair.
That'll do it.
And he says, now, he takes his long sword, not unsheathing it, takes it
Mine's coming right out.
off the belt.
My hand is precariously near my pack.
Takes it off the belt and lays it down as he takes out his little box thingy that he showed you the Harper symbol for, and he says, "Halexan, I'm sorry. Until I could be sure that I could tell you this information, I had to tell you that I was a Harper." And he clicks to the Harper symbol, and then he clicks through, and it's another symbol of another organization, the Order of the Gauntlet, which you traditionally associate with clerics and paladins. Clicks through to another symbol, and it's the Emerald Enclave. Clicks through the Zentarum.
Okay, sword goes away. Alright, so who are you?
Where's my sister?
Hand still where it is.
Sav'ah Rah, your questions will be answered.
Oh, please, tell me right the fuck now or I'll light you on fire. And I take out my flames.
Fair enough. Your sister works with me. Right now, there is not a real way to communicate with her unless you can do some creepy, really cool planar travel shit that I don't know about. But I suspect with your training, you're not
deflecting. Answer her
on
question.
that level. Your sister works with me.
So you're telling I'm not strong enough to face her yet?
No, you don't want to face her because her quest that she went on
She seems plenty
is not for her anymore. You've shown me that you are actually the one to follow in the footsteps in the path that I thought she was on.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly, and this is what I'm here to explain. First of all, my name, obviously, is not Bartholomew Blackstone.
Okay. So what is it?
If
he doesn't tell us in 5 seconds, shoot him.
My name is Roland Sunheart. We're gonna let Pierre get over this.
Is Ront doing this?
No, this is Pierre.
Alright.
This is Pierre.
Okay. Okay.
It's Roland.
Okay. That'll be good.
I broke a Pierre.
Getting water.
I'm lost. I don't understand.
We'll save it for later. Okay, angry face. Angry face. I'm sorry, guys.
No, that was awesome.
Let me in on it.
Yeah, seriously.
It's all about to go crack, people.
No. No.
How about Pierre, since you had the strongest reaction? Inform Elle who Roland is,
Well,
traditionally, that you know of.
Roland is usually this rad paladin that plays in all his games.
Oh my god, where's your folder?
Yeah, it's that character. She's seen him before.
He has the character sheet in his folder.
I mean, is the WoW character that you play not a Roland?
Yeah.
You hang out with Roland.
I know.
I've played games with Roland before.
I've played all the games with Roland.
Every game that Roland has been in, you've played.
Not yet, but yeah.
I wasn't ready.
He was getting very into it.
I was mad and upset. First I was afraid. I was petrified.
I am a lich. I'm here to kill you. No.
Just...
You're mad and afraid. You're petrified.
That was fantastic.
Back to serious questioning time.
I forgot everything. Thanks a lot.
Never trusting you again.
So you say this name and obviously I'm just like, okay.
And then Ron has a flat reaction to
Flat
that.
reaction to that.
Okay.
I'm part of a group that is not based on this plane, that oversees this plane, and the balance of the overarching forces that guide it. Okay? Right now, there is a very real threat, which may or may not, if we can stop it, and I will say we, why we, in a minute, if you just give me time, please, if we can act to work against it. Now, these Yanti that are here on this island, my organization has word that they are here for these dinosaurs. That much I know. What I was not prepared for was finding this location, this temple. This temple, which I was not prepared to meet you five. I can't even. I don't know how many of the Pantheon decided to work together to make it happen this way, but it just happened. I can sure as hell tell you Lathander didn't tell me anything about this, but...
What about the sixth one?
He reaches in his pack. He reaches in his pack. He reaches in his pack and he pulls out a marble triangular prism of white stone. That is, and it kind of glows a little bit in his hands. That is something I apparently can't finish here. What's important is that this, and he points to the 5 holes in the floor, this is something you can finish now.
How did you get that?
Long story, honey.
Excuse me?
He says, I forgot Paladin. Long story. It's a long story in a lot of planes with a lot of screaming things that you don't want to fight.
Thank you!
Yes.
Did he say Paladin?
Okay.
Paladin, yes.
Conclusion, it wasn't in this temple that you found it.
No, it was not.
That's interesting. Okay.
See, from what I gather, from what I've been briefed on, there were a group of 7 guardians that originated a long time ago, before any of our races even existed on this plane. That came together before this temple was built. Now put that into your heads. From what I've gathered, they were formed and given these gifts and others to defeat a huge evil, primordials versus gods. We're talking about the Dawn War. We're talking about a war where deities clashed to control this plane. And they couldn't make headway, but these things did it. Whatever these gifts, whatever forces govern these gifts chose you, I don't know. But they see in you something I missed and was not prepared for.
So what do you want us to do?
Do you know what's going on with our buddy over there on the door?
My suspicion was that this temple contains a coatl, or one of the guardians that we saw in the engineer's room, and I suspect with his memory loss and his obvious entrancement, as you can see, Ront is just banging his head on the door. He is a fragment of that being, whatever is in there, sent to maybe help guide whoever came down here to take up. He holds his little key again, take up the mantle,
Alright.
as it were.
Sorry, you were asking
What it is that you want us to do?
what? Just keys in the ground right here.
Keys in the
Simple as
ground.
that?
All right, guys.
Now, I will say this. There have been trials to get the keys. I don't know what trials will come to get the gifts. And I don't even know what the gifts are.
Well, we don't know under what conditions those jerks upstairs will let us out of this damn place, so that's all moot anyway.
Yeah.
Guys.
I will say this, just to be on the level with you. Tegel and Mulio are also part of my organization.
Okay.
I thought...
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. I thought that they might have been...
Is that what you were talking about? They said it didn't work?
Yes.
Okay.
So I sent them back to base to fill in a report.
Do they work under that particular cover often, or is that just...
It is... He rolls his eyes. It is, while hilarious, somewhat childish, and yet they get away with it every goddamn time.
Did any one of us roll insight on them?
Not really. They seem
I
like just two
don't
idiots
ever
for
roll
me.
inside unless I am asked to.
God damn it, Hal. I love you, Hal.
Straight up. I love it, Mike. Fist bump right there. Fist bump right there.
God damn it. Okay. Thank you.
Whip out my...
There are 5 of us here. Guys, what are we thinking?
Well, 6.
So I'll go to our respective
No,
colors.
no. There are 5 of us.
It takes a little bout.
There are 5 of us who came in here. 5 of us who apparently are relevant right this moment. What are we thinking? Do we do this?
No one else can.
Let's just put our prisons
Roland
into
says-
our weapon.
If you don't do it, eventually, if you put down the keys, eventually they will unattune away from you and someone else can pick it up and use it. However, time is of the essence.
I don't know how I feel working with someone who took my sister away from my family.
He sighs and says, I am only telling you this because the prisms, the keys, the crystals chose you. If anyone else who was not attuned to a crystal was here, I would have been forced to not answer your questions and let you kill me. That is my stake in this.
That
That's weird.
That is how important this was. This is why I had to ask your sister to come with me. And she did.
So you thought
My
her
sister's a
right?
fool and I'm not.
That's
You thought her sister would be the one to get a crystal?
Because of the feather.
that.
We suspect the phoenix is one of the gifts.
All I care about is getting that feather back.
I'm sure your sister will hand it over to you.
Can you promise me that?
Knowing your sister like I do, yes.
Insight. Insight.
Sure, roll it. Sav'ah Rah, she misses you.
Fuck. That's a 7.
Sav'ah Rah, she's missed.
No.
Sav'ah Rah, your
No.
sister misses you.
That's a 7.
That much I can tell you. And I'm sure at some point you will have the chance to have a very lengthy conversation about a whole lot of things. And if possible, if you request, we can put you in a fireproof chamber and let you to talk it out, he air quotes, as much as you want it to. I can promise you that. Right now, I'm trying to make sure those snaky fucks up there don't ruin everyone with whatever they're trying to do.
I don't know, I think he's right, guys. I think we have to do this. What?
How? What are you feeling?
There's like 3 different things that I wanted to say in response to you, but I couldn't come up with the words fast enough.
That's fine. That's fine.
Because I'm really bad at comebacks, even though my character is.
I
like,
can cut
it's not-
directly to that in the thing.
It'll happen.
It's fix it in post. Do you have
Well, it was 2 things. One was when you're talking about the talk it out thing. I wanted her to say something, Sav'ah Rah to say something about not like, oh, don't just give it to me that easy, like something, you know, so like I've worked hard enough as it is. I want to be the one to find her, confront her. Don't bring her to me. I want to find her.
He says, fair enough.
Yeah. So that, and then when you said, what was it, like, if I know her as well as I, like can you promise me that thing?
Yeah.
I said,
yeah.
can you promise me that?
If I know your sister as well as you do, yes, she will.
No, you didn't say that though.
That's something
else.
I think
because
you said as well as I do.
Yeah. So, God, there's like 2 different responses on this thing.
Just left click or right click.
Renegade or Paragon?
Or, you can wait for the normal wheel to pop up.
Okay, I just kind of like narrow my eyes and I say, I see what's going on here.
Thank you!
I chose to take the less vicious.
Was it that transparent? Yeah, I guess it was. Is that how you get Antsberry? Yes, it is, other berry.
Is that what you're calling it? You're calling it ants?
Ants.
Sting a little, burn.
And then I say what's going on. So okay, this is what happens. After you say all of those things, instead of me interjecting,
Okay.
I say, I don't want you to just bring me to her in like a private room or whatever. I've worked this long to look for her. I'm going to find her myself. But you're going to help me. And I see what's going on here. You're an asshole. And I throw the thing into the thing without...
Does it go?
It magically, you throw it towards it. It flies past towards him, and then it sort of like directly into the slot that it's colored about. Now it hasn't like opened or anything.
Right.
Like the flippy thingies are not open, but it's in the slot now. This is rolling breathing in.
1.
Okay.
1.
Okay,
2, 3.
I'll just go up and gently,
Okay.
scoot it over.
And it sort of keeps rolling, and then it into the thing.
Okay, good job. Guys,
Now, before anyone else puts a thing in there, he slowly picks up his sword. He's like, okay, I'm going to stand not next to the door, but away from. I'm going to be watching. Okay, that's all I'm doing here with my blade, is watching, making sure to let you guys know as soon as anything happens. You guys have eyes on the door and the hallways. Yes. I have eyes on the rest of the chamber. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
All right, kill these. Come in.
Hello, everyone. This is Elle here, back with Tessa's Question Corner. Just to remind you guys, the question from last week was, what are your favorite dice designs? And so, get to know you guys a little better. See what you like to roll. Dumpstat Charisma said, we like our metal dice over here. My personal favorite set is Tiger's Eye with white numbers. You just have to remember to have a tray or something to roll on. Don't want to bang up the table. Isn't that true? Yeah, Tiger's Eye is a really beautiful gem. Like, that sounds absolutely gorgeous. Like, I would love to have some of that. Just, is that goals? Hashtag goals. Tiger's Eye dice. Moving on. Daniel Stewart at Tabletop Tapes said, I personally love the Q Workshop Dwarven dice. They look like they were chiseled into place with powerful runes of good rolling. Ooh, sounds like dice that would never get into the naughty dice corner. LJ Haydorn said, I love some of the dice from Artisan Dice. I think I love many of the wood or stone dice. See, I would love to have wooden or stone dice, of course, and also, like, metallic dice. Like, of course, anything that's, like, really polished and beautiful. I'm just like, ooh, gimme, and then it's like, ooh, I have to save up for that. But I'm just, like, really caught by that. I think, like, my favorite pair of dice now is actually ones from the Critical Hit collection. Yeah, from the Critical Hit collection, and they're actually, like, golden glitter dice. And they are just so absolutely pretty that, like, I want to grab it and roll it every time, even though it's the first time I've used them has failed me, and I'm just so disappointed. But maybe we were all having a bad dice time, so maybe next time, hopefully, it'll be better to me. But those are beautiful, like, all of those dice, and, like, the Black Knight, sort of more of a hidden sparkle than a really outrageous bright glitter, also from the Critical Hit collection. Those are really gorgeous. I'm sorry I'm rambling. If you didn't know, I'm not just, like, interrupting this. Those were the 3 responses we had, so I just wanted to let you guys know what's preferably on my dice tray. Also a lot of blues. I really cherish the first sort of aquamarine dice set. I still, to this day, look at them, and I just love them. Like, they'll be my first dice, and I'll always remember them as that. And I think that's what matters. Like, if you give someone the gift of dice, it doesn't matter, like, if they're the really expensive ones, or even if they're still pretty but cheap, the cheaper ones for, like, $10 or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's still a nice, loving gift, especially to people who are interested in having a really good, solid dice collection. Especially since Hint Hint Christmas is coming up. Get your loved ones a pair of beautiful dice in your preferred price range. No matter if they are wood or stone, metallic or dwarven, get the right dice for them, and get yourself a pair too, because you deserve it. And I just want to thank you guys again for answering the question corner this week, and I want to segue into the question for this session, which, since we are now in the month of December, I know I'm crazy, and it is the holiday season, our next question is, how do you incorporate the holidays into your D&D games? Whether it's just a one-shot or your characters get thrown into mystical snowy lands, how do you celebrate the holidays in your game? We will be posting this question on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram very shortly. And if you haven't gotten a chance to follow us on those, go ahead. And thank you guys so much again. I know I say it a million times, but I really, really do mean it. This means a lot to me, and I appreciate all your responses and just feedback to the questions that we post. And again, you can get your answers in the next episode by posting in the comments section of the said question. Hope you all have a great night or day, and wherever you guys may be, just remember to roll safely. Bye!
3 Aasimar and a tiefling awaken in a strange world with no memory of how or why they're there. Join Briathos, Bizdira, Flick, Kit, and their friendly neighborhood dungeon master DM Jazzy Hands as they explore this new world and try to regain their memories, all the while making friends with a tribe of kobolds, playing matchmaker, and much more. The Last Refuge is a weekly homebrewed Dungeons & Dragons actual play podcast. The Last Refuge, available wherever you download your podcasts.
Alright, guildies, come in. Brothers!
How's it going?
Fuck. Fucking... What?
It is what it is, man.
What is it?
It's a whole lot of bullshit.
Shut up, Otherberry!
There's already ants on the floor at this point.
Hal, how you feeling?
You don't have to. And if you don't want this responsibility, that is fine. You can put it down. Just please don't put it down now. Because too many lives have been lost trying to find out about this place.
How do you guys feel about him taking so many steps back?
It's fine, just don't. I see you reaching. Just chill out for a second. Just chill out for 1 second.
Look, he's not Harper. He's okay with me.
Roland's gonna
fine?
get on Savara's
You're fine?
love-hate list.
Oh, I'm not fine.
You can already
This
see.
is...
With this situation right now, like this immediate situation, the whole overarching situation is not okay. But this right here.
This right here is God's meddling.
Let's go awaken God then.
You know what? Yeah. Just... Well, no, not you. What the fuck was that?
That big giant door is holding a big guy behind it for all I know.
Listen, if he's who he says he is...
He's all the way back there. I don't care about him.
I'll go ahead and put the thing in.
Okay.
You're explaining this to our boss's boss's boss later.
That's
Roland's
what
getting dragged all around the place.
Sigel and Mulio are already on their way to...
Not your boss!
I know. Listen. I will explain how deep the roots go when we are not in the middle of a thing that could kill us all.
Alright, guys.
Because we have people we answer to, and like, Jadangle.
Like Jadangle.
No. Jadangle will be fine no matter what we do.
I know. How
We do not answer to
was he?
Lathander, we answer to Jankle.
It's very true.
No, but our other guy, the
Wayland?
our guild guy.
Oh, Sylvanas.
Sylvanas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, he's my boss, but
Yeah,
like
but like
his
the super
boss.
Yeah.
Our boss.
I don't even know who that is.
I don't know either, but we're gonna have to talk about like why we went to this
don't
fucking
want to
island.
know.
We came back with this triangle rock.
Exactly. We'll have a really good story to tell him.
They're not gonna believe us.
You get it's all right. No, it's okay.
You know, right? Like, fuck. Ah! Okay, and then I take the thing out. Yes, it's glowing. Fuck you. And I walk over to the hole, and I feel it pulling. Like, no, I can do it myself.
It stops pulling.
I'm just like, do I? And I look at the thing, and I look at the thing, and I'm like looking for the spokes, and I'm like, okay. And then I let go, and it's flowing there, and I spit on it.
The spokes flip out, and it goes in, and then you're the first to do this. You see
God.
blue lines, circles in the thing, and the triangular prism sort of juts up into a little pillar because it was inset. A triangular pillar, and it juts up, and then a blue line runs to the door and to the center. Of
This
this
is because you
pentagon.
spit on the thing.
Well, it opens the things, and like it plugs in. So you gotta open the plug holes.
Yeah. I'll put
Go ahead.
some moss on mine.
It does
again.
plug holes,
Yeah.
and it sinks in like it
Seth
finally.
is like trying to stop you from taking
Oh, baby.
Baby Seth. There's a green line.
Sav'ah walks up to her thing. She glares at Roland and says, "Pretend the prison is you," and then lights up.
He sighs and looks up, and then he draws his sword and he continues surveying everything. And then he sort of, you see him tap like this the front, like near his belt buckle area, and there's like a shield that appears on his arm.
Can you learn how to make that?
if you let me touch it a lot.
And he's like,
go ahead.
And joining the green and blue lines, there is a red line. Your pedestal shoots up, and there is a red line that goes to the center of the pentagon.
What's the floor like here?
The floor, like yours, flat.
Is it stone?
Like huge flagstones,
Okay.
just like huge blocks.
Is there anything like creases in between them where like dirt may have gone?
There's creases in between them where dirt may have gone. Yes. So
So then, basically, I'll just like take one of my blades and just drag it along the line to get a little bit out and sprinkle it on top.
Note to self: make jar of dirt.
The little flippers flip out and your pedestal sinks in. There is a yellow line again. You're always free to change the color. I just made them up as I went. There is a yellow line that your pedestal jumps out, circles of yellow, and this yellow line goes all the way to the center of this pentagonal inset in the floor.
Well, it's been fun, guys. I turned now.
We turn around, Conall is gone.
I walk over.
How does he do that?
I breathe on my prism.
Little things open up.
I gently place it into there.
It sets in there. And your prism juts up with the pedestal. And there's purple lines, purple circles, purple line going to the center of the pentagon. And the pentagon starts opening. Like a radial shutter. And there's a glowing light. What's going on? He turns around. He turns around
that sarcophagus.
Yeah.
I'll keep my eye on that while this is happening. Yeah.
Fist bump.
Yeah.
Ow.
and from the center of this light raises a pentagonal pyramid. And it raises up and it stops. And it's about 10 feet tall. And on it are these open portals, open, glowing, small, about the size of a head. And your keys that you set on the pedestals all fly into their color-coded little portal.
Oh.
And they flash.
Okay.
And they're just glowing there.
Well, I'm sure that we have to add the 6th one.
Do we see a 6th hole?
There's no 6th hole.
Okay, I walk up to it.
Okay, you walk up to
Am I
You're
dead
gonna
yet?
rub it?
No, you're not dead yet.
Okay,
You don't do it yet.
I literally rub it.
You rub it, your hand can go through this portal. And it feels
so it's not like, there's the thing that's floating there, it's just like...
a portal in the face, in one of the faces of this pentagonal pyramid.
Actually, so then I spit on it.
Your spit goes
I spit
through.
in the portal.
Your spit
Okay,
goes through.
it did not go to my eyes, guys. Here we go.
Can we push the door open yet?
1 second. I've got to.
You reach into your pack.
So what happens if I put a thunderstone?
Do you want to put a thunderstone there? You might like it. You might not.
I might like it.
You might like it.
Can we tie a rope
I-
around
like-
someone
like-
and
we're
shove
all
them in there?
we're all watching this.
Yeah,
So-
we had a character relationship.
I take the thunderstone in, then it starts wobbling around me, and then I'm covered in some sort of material, and then the thunderstone detonates, and I'm a bubble.
So, all right. Tell me one more time. Do you put a thunderstone in there? Yes, no. Because I've also.
Let the dice decide.
Hold on. Am I smart enough to not do that? No.
All right. So you throw a thunderstone.
No. I reach into my pack, pull out a thunderstone, and hand and thunderstone go into the thing.
Okay. Your hand touches something smooth and round, and also a little
Does
bit
it feel like skin?
roughy. No, rough, porous.
That sounds gross.
That sounds a little weird. Yeah.
Sponge?
Yeah.
I just...
Okay.
Hard, rough, porous.
Oh, okay.
But also at some points round
Okay.
and smooth.
I I pulled my hand back out and flamed the thunderstone somewhere else.
You hear a boom, and you reach in, and it feels like you can grab it, like it fits well in your hand.
What in... That's gonna be like a turtle something. Grab, pull.
Alright, you pull out a mace. Except it's a weird looking mace. Alright.
What?
It makes just listen to me. Just listen, okay? Do you
identify?
It's a mace. with a large pearl as a bludgeon. And a coral seashell haft.
That's so pretty.
Cool. And when you pull it to you and you swing it around a bit, you can feel water or some liquid sloshing around inside of the pearl, the bludgeon part.
Oh my god.
Though it sounds as if solid when you knock on it. Now, it always feels cool to the touch. Always feels cool to touch, no matter where you touch it.
They're gonna think I'm a fop.
And the pearl, there's also a little pearl at the base of it. And you mess around with it enough, and you feel that you can unstopper it.
Okay.
What liquid are you thinking about right now?
Pee.
There's urine. There's urine. Urine that flows out of...
Well, that's fucking gross.
Stop it!
You're like...
You have the ability to splash pee in your enemy's face?
You cast Identify.
I'm gonna think about Sudsea laundry water.
Okay.
And then stop it again.
Yeah, Sudsea laundry water comes out.
Ah, thank God! Shake my leg dry.
Life's on the right path.
Identify. Guys, I'm gonna rub this for about 10 minutes. You go do whatever the fuck you're gonna do.
I run over.
You guys each walk in.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay, so we all reach in, I guess.
Okay. I'm gonna do you first. Okay. A word, clear as a bell, in your head. After you cast Identify.
Okay.
Says kindness.
I'm thinking about pee again.
Well, I guess you say it louder for the... And you know, like a whole slew of information, other information fills you in about this mace. It tells you it is an artifact. You don't hear that in your head, but you now know that this weapon does an extra 1d4 cold damage on a hit in terms of regular mace bludgeoning damage.
Hello.
And it counts as an arcane focus, druidic focus, or holy symbol. When you pull, it pours out about a gallon of any liquid you are currently thinking about.
Please don't make it.
I haven't set the charges on this yet. I haven't set the charges on it yet. Don't abuse it. That's all I say. That's all I say. You're not going to be able to get an ocean of water out of it.
Baby oil.
Yes.
Let's go back to cake.
Oh, I can't. The people who made this item, by the way, would just be like, what the hell did we do? Alright, so who wants to be next? Raise your hand. Alright, Tessa. When you reach into your hand, and we're going to, for the sake of the rest of the audience, we're going to say that Ront helps everyone identify, maybe.
Wait, you mean it doesn't just, like, the weird voice doesn't reach down into their head?
Okay, yes, the weird voice reaches out into your head. You pull out, as you reach in, you feel like a branch. You pull it out, and it's a crossbow. Now, this is a magical crossbow. Seemed to have naturally grown into its form. It's not carved out of wood. There's bark still on it. It's looked like it was a magically grown crossbow into its form. The stock and body are gnarled and covered with bark. The arms of this crossbow have leafy sprouts that are shifted towards the body to form new bolts that are loaded as the previous bolt is fired. Now, a new sprout, like a leafy sprout, is grown every 6 seconds. And it does 1d4 extra poison damage on a hit, in addition to crossbow damage. It counts as an arcane focus, druidic focus, or holy symbol. And a word, woody, oaken, says into think of like fucking Treebeard. Order.
Kindness, seriously.
Yeah, maybe you need more.
Kill him with kindness.
Yeah, right.
Kill him with kindness. There you go.
Kill them with force damage.
Who wants to be next?
Conall
Sav'ah.
has to be next. Okay.
Okay. Sav'ah Rah.
That mean about me?
You reach in. Your hand grips something metal, and it is warm. It feels super warm.
My
to you.
boo.
Your boo. You pull it out. Do you? Yes.
Of course.
It is long. It is.
Is it a whip?
It is a quarterstaff. Would you
Anything
like it to be a whip? Would you rather it be a whip?
I don't want it to be a quarterstaff.
Okay. Name a weapon you want it to be.
I mean, a whip.
You want it to be a whip?
I mean, I just... Yeah.
Okay. You've
Okay.
guaranteed
It's just
that
like
in future
me.
episodes I'm going to say Chitara and not be sorry.
Okay.
Chitara?
The Thundercats.
Oh.
It is a, yes. It is a whip. It's a magical golden whip with, and it fits now, with glowing veins of red along its length. The head of the whip consists of a pair of outstretched wings
That's cool.
that always seem to be lined with inextinguishable flame. This whip is always warm to the touch all along its length. It does 1d4 extra fire damage on a hit. It counts as an arcane focus, druidic focus, or holy symbol. And a word, like a roaring fire in your head, says, Justice.
Its name is Justice.
Alright.
So it does 1d4 fire damage?
Extra fire damage, and
Extra
on top
fire
of,
On
like,
top
what a whip
whatever.
would do.
and a whip does 1d4, which is like,
Bump it up.
bump it up. You want it to be a 1d6?
Yeah, 1d6.
Alright, we'll do a 1d6.
What's
That's
the
fair.
mace damage? Is that 1d6?
Mace dex is 1d6, yeah. If I was like, weapons that work, but also want them to be useful, but magical, you know. Conall, did you want to be next, you said?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Conall.
Ront said.
Listen, you were like, presents! I wanted you to be first.
You ready?
Let's go.
You reach in, you feel a twang.
It's a pendulum.
Can you?
Feel a smooth, curved surface, and as you feel along, it reminds you of a bow.
Mm-hmm.
Pull it out. It's translucent, as if made of some ethereal glass. And inside of the length of the body of this bow is a vapor. You don't know what it is. It's an unknown material. There's a silvery drawstring. It weighs almost nothing, practically nothing, as if it weighs like air. When drawn, the bow audibly inhales as a gaseous arrow materializes out of the air and knocks itself. A gentle breeze and the soft sound of rushing air emanates from the bow as the arrow is loosed. It does 1d4 extra thunder damage on a hit.
Wow.
It counts as an arcane focus, druidic focus, or holy symbol. I prepped these no matter what fucking class you guys chose. Alright. Halexan, you ready?
Sure.
Oh, right, I have to say. And
Oh yeah.
alright, so I associated these with the general I crossed these with virtues of the Chinese zodiac and also Greek elemental design, Platonic things, whatever. And a word like a gentle breeze comes into your mind, Conall, and it says wisdom.
Leave your apartment!
That would be
Leave!
good for you.
I actually have wisdom. It's intelligence I'm lacking.
Alright, Lesson, you ready?
Yep.
Alright, you reach in. You feel haft. And it feels rough, like a rock. And you pull out a saber. But it's in the Kopesh style.
Cool.
Right? Seems to be made of a gemstone mixed with metal. The blade has razor-sharp crystal growths interspersed along its edge. Despite its crafted appearance, it appears to be one solid piece of stone and metal. It does 1d4 extra bludgeoning damage on a hit because the crystal spines act more like things. So you're doing slashing and bludgeoning damage.
Cool.
it counts as an arcane focus, druidic focus, or holy symbol. And it just has this nice gemstone inlay, like there's veins of tiger's eye and shit running throughout it, and these crystal growths grow out.
Nice.
And a word comes into your head, gravelly. Honor. There you go.
That one's pretty good.
Wait, so Conall's weapon is a longbow or a bow?
A longbow.
So that's D8?
Yes.
Okay.
Where's your weapon, Roland?
Thank you. Roland sighs, and he says, and he looks at the pentagon, and he points at it for you guys to look at. As soon as you've withdrawn these weapons, the pentagonal pyramid starts to sink back into the ground. And when the hole closes up from whence it came, 5 lines, colored lines, this shoot towards the dais, with the sarcophagus on top in the back of the room. Roland draws his sword. Well, his sword's already drawn. And Roland waits. What do you guys do? He's just staring at the sarcophagus.
The sarcophagus?
From behind.
The sarcophagus. Behind you guys.
We're probably going to have to use our weapons to fight what's ever in the sarcophagus.
Also, these don't have plus to hit. They're just whatever they are.
They're just whatever they are damage. Yeah.
What damage is this?
It's a 1d4 bludgeoning for yours.
The base damage.
It's
it's 1d8 longsword. It's a longsword, I should say, or a saber because of the dex.
Oh, okay.
Request.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That rocks.
Long saber.
I have no strength bonus.
I too have no strength bonus, and I have a mace. Right.
Oh, cool.
I guess shield out and start walking towards the sarcophagus.
Roland waits for you to get step in step with him, and he starts walking with you. You guys walk up to the sarcophagus. It's stone. You can see that the lines are slowly... They basically pass underneath the sarcophagus, and they go to the other side of the dais table, and they start going down the steps, slowly, towards the big...
Oh, I was worried about this,
statues.
not the sarcophagus.
What?
Yeah. Roland says, okay, so best case scenario, it's none of these. Second worst case, it's one of them, then 2, and then 3, and we may be fucked.
Wait, so we have to fight all
We're
3
not
of the
fucked if it's
statue
only one.
I am a mere potion seller, man!
Let's wait and see.
So there's a line. There's a line. It
Right.
went towards the sarcophagus. It went past the sarcophagus
And to the statues.
the huge
The
statues.
3, the different statues. Fine.
So what do you guys do? Because I'm about to describe what's about to happen.
Draw my weapons.
You guys get into
My
like battle
weapon's already
positions.
ready.
Our K&D.
Yeah, I mean, I hang back because I'm the
Of
spellcaster,
course.
but...
All right.
Oil.
Yes. Alchemist fire. Yes.
We have like a container that.
Wait, actually,
oil stuff.
does alchemist
I'm
fire
gonna
count
be
as a
real
thing that
quick.
they can do?
We still have.
That is a liquid, isn't it?
We still have like
You only have a gallon of it. Don't use it.
We still have the potion
Oh, of course,
bottles
alchemist
like
fire lights on fire when it hits the air. So like.
Okay, so instead of holding it like a mace, how fast did the pee issue out? Or
It's just like a steady stream based on gravity.
Okay,
Any
so I
liquid.
can't like.
Get to the high ground. Get to the high ground.
Is there a high ground?
The dais, the other statues.
The other statues.
The sarcophagus is a high ground too.
Guys, trust me! And I run up and stand on the sarcophagus, holding the mace upside down.
Ront. What are you doing? Oh God.
Trust me!
So the set of rainbow lines heads straight towards the center of this group of statues, and then it veers right, and then it veers left, and it goes straight to the obsidian Naga statue.
Okay.
And it goes up, and the lines sort of disappear. And Roland says, I don't have a good feeling about this.
When your rainbows can be so deadly.
And all of a sudden the red eyes on the obsidian Naga statue glow, and the obsidian starts to crack away and fall until you can see before you this huge, dark, black-scaled Naga rising up. And it starts to slowly, 30 foot tall on end, slowly slither towards you.
Which one of us?
The whole group.
Okay.
And then you see it cough. Cough, and then in its eyes you see it just choke. It starts choking.
Do you need a
choking.
doctor?
And it falls down and dies.
The fuck?
What?
Wait for it.
Are you alright?
Roland
I think he's dead.
Roland puts up his sword as he watches the other two statues, and he's like, well, that was easy.
Well done.
Well, wait. Well, I run up to it and, like, touch it.
Okay.
Does it feel anything?
It feels cold and dead.
Already?
It's actually
Yeah.
dead.
It's a snake.
Hold on.
What?
I go over to the head. I, like...
Ront, I wouldn't...
I
Just in case.
inspect the airway.
The airway is not breathing.
You're weird.
Going in! Checking for obstructions in the airway.
There's no obstruction in the airway. You do see inside, from the very back, in the very back of the throat, like deeper into the creature, you see little embers as if something's burning away.
Guys, there's fire in here!
And as you
job,
say
Sav'ah.
that, you start to notice that the inner organs and tissues of this Naga that you were inspecting are burning away.
I would get out.
Nope.
And as you're running away, you all can see the embers now because this burning,
30 foot.
sloughing of its tissue is now burned to the outer skin. And
I'm staring in absolute fascination.
Of course, and it burns from the
Completely.
middle to the tail to both ends. And as it does so, the whole area gets suffused in ash and smoke.
I don't like this.
And
I don't
little
like
by
this.
little, you can see the clear bone left behind. And
I don't like this. What comes out of ashes? I don't like this.
you
I
can
don't
see,
like this.
you can hear this clicking
God
bones
damn,
I don't like this.
no.
rattling
I don't like this. What is
against
this
one
from
another.
ashes?
Sort out.
Is a bone naga.
Fucking bone nuggets.
Now roll initiative.
It's 12:30.
Are we doing
Yes,
this now?
yes, that's what I was about to ask.
We'll do this the other time.
Yes.
The next time.
How about the
Next time on Dragon Ball Fuck Me!
So I didn't want to send a spirit naga after you guys, but that's kind of what it was, and then, you know, because
I
that's a
thought-
level 7.
I
Bone
thought it
nuggets
was
are actually
more
my
brilliant
favorite
than that, but
Yeah.
obviously I was thinking of more.
Here, just for fun.
No, I'm rolling it
20!
next time.
Can we do initiative right now?
It's going next time, but like I want to like just see what you would have rolled.
20!
I'm actually for taking initiative now.
Fine.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
fine.
No, it's totally okay. We can do it. We can do it.
Yeah, whatever. We can do it whenever you guys want to do it.
You know,
Do we
just
use-
pencil in
do
the
it
test
for
and rolled 20. This
Use
one for
the-
fun. I got
Oh,
19.
you mean use what got
We
rolled?
both got 16.
Yeah, that's why I was laughing. I was like, yo, you would have gotten 16.
I mean, we can roll it now and then say what it is next time.
I got
21.
16.
I had a 21 and 21.
Actually, technically we got, with our bonuses, we got
Technically
20.
21.
What's
21.
What is it?
But a natural 20.
Initiative.
Yeah, plus 4.
Which
Plus
is basically your dex
21.
unless you have extra bonuses to it.
So
All right.
we both got 20.
Alright, both of you got 20.
Alright.
Who goes first?
Adam, you have until next time to decide
we have-
whether or
we have
not
the
a
same
gallon
dex.
of Alchemist's Fire.
Who has the higher score?
The same.
Do you want a Rochambeau or just make a decision?
You go first.
What's the Rochambeau?
Okay,
That's
okay, Conall
rock,
goes
paper,
first.
scissors.
Yeah. Ront, what did you get? When you
I
rolled?
got a 19 plus 2, so 21.
21.
I got a 20 plus 1.
So,
I rolled one higher. Does it
I
matter?
believe I have a plus 2 to dex.
which
It would be
more than.
I have
hers.
a
Isn't
14
it
to dex.
initiative?
No,
Yes,
no.
it's initiative.
Well, initiative-
Well, I have a plus 1 in initiative.
Well, no. So for ties in initiative, you compare actual dexterity scores, and I have a 14.
So you guys are actually both going before us.
You have a 12.
Well, yeah, because I'm really hyped about abusing this thing. Listen, you have until next time to decide whether or not a gallon of Alchemist's Fire is abuse.
I'm hyped about shooting a couple arrows and then turning into a dinosaur.
I mean, I was like, oil's probably okay, but then I was like, wait a minute, potions.
I might have to do that to natural liquid because Alchemist's Fire is like a.
Can I teach myself as a dinosaur to fire a bow and arrow?
It's
No one,
oil.
no one.
So what you do is you
uses
use the weapon for a bit, and then you turn into the dinosaur for the kill move.
it. Yeah, you know. Just
That's your final form, you know?
Hey everybody, Adam here. Just wanted to tag this on at the end of the episode. Wanted to apologize for the episode being a little shorter than normal. If you stick with this, I have a scene, special little feature scene that I've tagged on at the end of this episode. It's about 9.5 minutes long, but it's really fun, and it gave me a chance to develop my my sound editing and composition skills a little bit more. Thank you, Public Domain Music. Also wanted to address one little mechanical thing that we changed, and I wish I noticed this and changed it before the session where we had the Bone Naga fight. But Ront's mace, special little magical mace that he got, we have changed that to from a mace with a pearlescent thing to a Hyalai Cesta. It still has all the cool pearlescent markings and like the coral haft and all that. It's just a nice round, cool, curved shell throwing arm thing. And that will enable him to basically fling his the things from his artificer bag further, 10 feet we've added to the range of each of those, and it allows those things that he's flinging, like his Thunderstone, to deal a 1d4 cold damage that's still going to be there, and the 1d4 will follow the rules of the trinket's attack roll or save for half or nothing effect. So that's that. We fixed it, just give him something, because I had to... Also, the liquid thing was a bit wishy-washy with me, and I need to rework that to make it more clear for him and for you guys. Just taking a little bit of responsibility here. My bad. Also wanted to address the holidays. We will be putting out episodes coming out the 18th and the New Year. Wow, we have an episode coming out on the New Year. Yes. So yeah, expect a regular release schedule from us for those days. I think that's it. Is that it? Is that all I got? Wow. Okay. Well, won't keep you guys much longer. Enjoy a little scene coming up just after this. And happy holidays, everyone.
While our heroes were pondering their possibly imminent demise, a tremendously nervous Quasit was sprinting down a lavishly decorated hallway with a quill, inkwell, and rolls of paper stuffed in his tiny arms. His magenta tie, a little too long, was flapping erratically behind him as he panted his way to a very large set of mahogany doors at the hallway's end. He stared at the hourglasses lining the walls and little alcoves to check his pace. The sand in the upper chambers were running quite low, but of course not yet finished. He stopped and wound himself up to spring forward through the open doors to save more time, and as was he released, the little demon's eyes widened with terror. For from around the corner, near the double doors, emerged a fashionably dressed bladeling, although it should be noted that his Jacobean finery, particularly the ruff around his neck, was irreparably ribbed by his spikes. Alas, this bladeling moved to enter the open doorway as the closet was still mid-air. The hourglasses completed their cycles simultaneously. The mahogany doors snapped shut, and with clockwork coordination, the hourglasses all flipped on end. Once the chaotic collision came to a conclusion just inside the threshold, the bladeling rapidly took to his feet and snatched up the little fiend as it was busy gathering its belongings back into its claws. He raised the demon to meet his glare, and in no subtle manner, he communicated the oceanic deepness of his contempt with his gleaming violet eyes. The closet snapped his eyelids shut in response.
"Oh no, you will look at me, you puny, disgusting."
"Put him down, Claudius." Claudius looked over and observed the 14 other individuals in the enormous circular meeting room who were watching the scene, some with delight, others with consternation rivaling his own. The command had come from an angel, a solar, seated upon an orange throne placed in a similarly hued segment of a runed, multicolored wheel that saturated most of the chamber's stone floor. The fact that her golden hair matched the palette of her position didn't escape the bladeling either. Truthfully, it elicited a modicum of respect, and that's what motivated him to let the closet plop back onto the floor in a stumbling dash towards its tiny magenta stool.
"Always a pleasure, Aaliyah."
Claudius peered around the room as the gathered creatures released him of their gazes. Striding to his flame-red seat, he counted 15 representatives out of a possible 60, one to fill each segment. But the missing member wasn't a surprise to him. Whoever, or whatever, was meant to occupy the pillowed emerald-green slab positioned between Aaliyah and the Deva who sat to her left had never once attended a meeting since he started his regular visits to this particular demiplane. How disappointing, he thought to himself. Emergency assemblies are supposed to have more surprises. Claudius sat down. The high-ranking Modron to his left whirred and clicked away to acknowledge Claudius's presence, while the towering pit fiend, wearing ruby spectacles to his right, busied himself by sharpening his claws with an enormous file. The resumed silence in the meeting room was broken again by a soft tone that rang from the shadowy ceiling. The fires in the braziers around the ring of delegates magically dimmed to a low simmer, and a glowing sphere appeared in the center of the room for all to see. It was pale, had a slight transparency, and hovered a few feet above the ground. With slow pulses, words began to appear inside it, and each creature saw the words in their native language. In common, the briefing read as follows. Intelligence reports state that a few hours ago, 5 more have attuned. None of the newly attuned are current members of our organization. Individual investigations into this happenstance will begin shortly. You and your superiors are expected to comply as per contractual obligations. Failure to comply will directly lead to the enactment of sanctions as outlined in said contracts. The 5 newly attuned are as follows. When the final words faded away, a series of images akin to what we would call a mix of mugshots and candid paparazzi-like photographs ran in a slideshow across the surface of the hovering sphere. Where applicable, published materials on the subjects in the images were displayed and translated for all to read. At the end of the presentation, one final display of the group flashed in the orb. A half-elf, a bladeling, a half-orc, a halfling, and a tiefling. The images lingered to sink into the memory of the 15 who were present. More words appeared. Despite their lack of agency membership, all have been reviewed and approved to carry their respective gifts. We will take no actions to recover and redistribute said gifts prior to the report of our remaining field operative deployed to the area of discovery. This ends the emergency briefing. You are dismissed." At that, the sphere flickered out of existence, and the surrounding braziers again roared to life, revealing faces full of a wide range of expressions. Some were calm and contemplative. Others seemed more than a little miffed. And a select few, to include the devilish pit fiend who was slack-jawed and already on his feet, made moves to leave the room as soon as possible. For Aaliyah, she allowed herself a relaxed smile. She thought they were an interesting mix, but she detected that they were beings with good intentions. And then her smile faded. Her eagle eyes, trained to hunt down any sign of evil, had caught something confusing, disturbing, wrong. Claudius was lounging back in his chair, and he was smiling too.